This is the story of 1907, when there was a war going on in Germany. We German soldiers see soldiers who are screaming everywhere. There were corpses all around. Everyone was scared. In between, we see a young soldier. The soldier was very young and was scared to see corpses all around him. He is sitting in a place, seeing such a situation. Then a soldier comes to him and says, "You can't sit like this, you have to fight with us." Now that soldier gets up and enters the battlefield with the rest of the soldiers. That German soldier had killed a French soldier for the first time. Time goes by like this. Now a lot of corpses are seen, which were of those soldiers who were killed in the war that was going on between Germany and France. In these corpses, there was also a corpse of that boy, who was very scared a while ago, whose corpse started rotting. That's why all the corpses of the soldiers were closed in a coffin, and then, one by one, uniforms were removed from everyone's bodies. And those uniformed clothes are sent back to the city, so that the clothes are washed and the new soldiers are given these clothes again. In the meantime, we see the city. A boy named Paul, who was very fond of becoming a brave soldier and who wanted to go to war, now comes to the place where the army is choosing soldiers to fight. He also fills out his form and gives it to them. But his dad's sign was not on his form because he knew that his dad would never allow him to go to the army. That's why he did his dad's sign very cleverly and joined the army with his friends. Now all the chosen soldiers are gathered at one place. The general comes and tells everyone that being a soldier is a matter of great pride. Everyone was even more excited to hear this. Now everyone is given the same uniform that they removed from the bodies of the dead soldiers. Paul and his friend were proud to wear the soldier's uniform. They felt that they did not know how good a soldier's life was going to be or how good a day it was for their life. Now they are told that all the soldiers will be taken to the Western Front, which is located in the north of France. Now all the soldiers have set out for the Western Front. They are told that they have to get off the truck halfway and start their journey on foot. When these people started walking, the bombs started exploding on the ground, which the soldiers of France had hidden. They all lie down. They are told to wear their masks quickly because gas can also attack them, which is a dangerous gas that can kill. Everyone starts wearing their masks. In the meantime, Paul sees that his companion, who was not wearing a mask, was helping him wear one, so he gets late in wearing his mask. At the same time, his senior shouts at him and says, "Look, help someone else when you first wear your mask." After this, they all moved on. When they reached the base, it was very bad there. The base was filled with water. Everyone is told that they have to get water out of here. Now they do not have a bucket or any other stuff, so everyone takes off their helmets and starts getting water. Here Paul meets a man who tells him about the situation. On the other hand, one of his friends, who came here and saw such a situation, was very upset. He says to Paul that "I did not know there were such situations in the war. I can't stay here. I have to go back to my house." But now there was no use for any such thing, because these people could not go from here without fighting the war. Similarly, it becomes night while taking out water. Now they are given the responsibility at night to stand on the border and guard it. When Paul was guarding with his companions, he was completely unaware of the fact that a bullet can also be fired here. Then a bullet hits his head and he falls down. He thinks that if that bullet had not hit his helmet, he would not have been alive today, because he had survived because of his helmet. After a while, bombs started falling here. One bomb explodes. All the soldiers go to the basement and hide. Bullets were fired all around. Paul's friend, who was regretting coming here, gets very scared. And he was shouting and saying that "I had to go back to my house." But no one was there to listen to him. Then, when one of his companions starts going out, a bomb blast hits his feet, causing his body to be shattered. This scene was very scary. After seeing this, everyone was even more scared. Bombs also start exploding. This made everyone feel that the basement was going to fall. So as soon as possible, they have to save their lives and get out of here. Everyone leaves now. But Paul does not go. In a while, the basement falls. Now everyone thought that Paul died in that basement. When the soldiers came in the morning and removed the wood, Paul was still alive. Then they take Paul out and put him in a place. The same man comes in front of him again, who met him here for the first time and who had given him all the information about this place. He knew that Paul would be hungry, so he gave him a piece of bread to eat. Now a soldier comes here and tells Paul that you cannot sit idle like this. All the soldiers who have died should collect all their batches, on which their names are written, so that we can inform their families. When Paul was collecting all the soldiers' batches, he also got his friend Spectacles, who was very scared. When Paul goes a little further, he finds his dead body, seeing which Paul started crying. But he knew that he could not cry much, so he started doing his work. Time was passing like this. Now that the soldiers had died, an officer was entering the register of their names from their batches and went and told his senior officer about all this, whose name is Matthias. That officer says, "Sir, more than 40 soldiers have been killed. We should stop this war, otherwise I don't know what will happen." Matthias was thinking after listening to him, how did we stop this war? Matthias now calls all his senior officers and starts the meeting. Paul and his team were now being sent from one place to another base, where they had to stay with other soldiers. Going there, they find out that there is a farm nearby, from which Paul and his team steal ducks, bring them, cook them, and eat them deliciously. They had eaten such good food after a long time, and then everyone was sitting and peeling potatoes for dinner. That's when they see some French girls going near the base, who are very beautiful. One of Paul's team members goes to them and shows them a strange dance so that he can impress them, and he goes with them. Then, after a while, letters come from everyone's house, which are being distributed among everyone. Paul's teammate, who did not know how to read and write, comes to Paul and gives him his letter to read, from which Paul finds out that he had a wife and a child, but the child died due to some disease. It is also night. At night, his teammate, who had gone with the girls, came. He comes and tells them the whole story and also shows a handkerchief of the girls, which he had brought with him. In the morning, they get the news that 60 more soldiers are coming, but they have not reached their base yet. Everyone was now worried. That's why Paul takes all the soldiers and goes to find them. Where did those people go? When they reach the station in search of them, the train they had to come from, they feel the gas spreading there. When they go to the room near the station, they also find out that 60 of these soldiers were killed due to the gas spreading because they had removed their masks before time. Everyone is scared to see the corpses of such 60 soldiers. On the other hand, in Germany, we are shown the senior head, to whom a soldier comes. And he tells us that the 60 soldiers we had sent in the war were also killed. We should just stop this war now. But the head says, "No, I can't stop this war. I don't like defeat. Now, send all the remaining soldiers to the Western Front. And if needed, gather more soldiers." On the other hand, we see Matthias, who was very worried because of the soldiers, because everyone was dying the next day. That's why he wanted to somehow stop this war. He was trying to somehow talk to his government. There, Paul and his team are shown that everyone has to go to the Western Front. The head has ordered everyone to get ready for the war. Matthias had also succeeded in gathering everyone. He talks to all the officers. He tells them how bad the effects of war are on the country. That's why we should end the war. He had prepared the entire report that all the officers should sign. The war was stopped, but a French officer did not sign. He says that I will talk after 72 hours. Matthias gets angry at this. He says, "Sir, after 72 hours, I don't know how many innocent soldiers will die." But that French officer does not listen to anything and remains adamant on his own. On the other hand, Paul and the rest of the soldiers are told to move toward France. These people do the same. And all the French soldiers on the way were killing everyone, one by one. In the meantime, Paul and his companions reach their kitchen, where they have to eat very delicious food. Everyone was shocked to see that food. They now hear strange noises there. So when they went out and saw it, the French soldiers had brought very big tanks. When they fire at them, they come to know that their bullets will not have any effect on them, because those tanks were very strong. They were now slowly moving towards them, and one by one, they were killing the German soldiers. That's why now the German soldiers also put bombs in those tanks, due to which the tanks were also blasted. But the French soldiers now had fire guns, with which they were leaving the fire and killing the German soldiers. In the meantime, Paul's friend is also captured by them. He apologizes a lot. He had also surrendered himself to them, but the French soldiers burn him alive and kill him. Paul was broken after seeing all this. There, Matthias gets a report prepared by France in which he says that there are some German officers who do not want the war to end. Matthias now talks to other officers about this. He says that we will have to end the war. One officer says that if we do this, then France will take over. But Matthias says no, now we just have to compromise. On the battlefield, the French Air Force had attacked the German soldiers. They were shooting at them and dropping bombs. Then Paul falls into the water due to the explosion of the bomb and shows himself as if he had died. That's why no one attacks him. Now, when he is about to get up, a French soldier sees him. Bombs started raining on him. That's when he himself slipped and fell down. Paul now catches the soldier and kills him many times with his knife, but he does not die. That's why Paul now puts soil in his mouth so that he dies due to shortness of breath. Later, he remembers what he is doing. Now he tries to save the soldier's life. That's when Paul gets a picture of his wife and son from the soldier's pocket. After a while, the soldier also died. Paul tells him that I will definitely go to your house and go and tell your wife that you are a very brave soldier. Now, Paul returns to his base, where everyone is happy and celebrating the victory. Paul goes to a friend who was injured. He gives him the same handkerchief that he got from the French girls. He tells Paul that another friend of ours was killed. Now Paul goes to his other friend, whom he was very happy to see. He had come to his injured friend with his food. The injured friend, who had stolen the thorn and fork from him, started hitting him in the neck because he knew that he would not survive. That's why he killed himself, and after a while, he died. Paul's other friend tells him that he has heard that the war is about to end. Paul says, okay, but I don't think so. Matthews is shown as having taken permission from all the German officers to end the war. But France does not sign those papers and says that the war will continue for another 6 hours. Similarly, in the morning, we see Paul, who goes to the farm with his companion so that he can steal something from there again and eat well. Paul goes inside that farm while his companion is standing outside and guarding him. But the son of the farmer saw him, who shot Paul's companion, who is in his stomach. Paul was worried about his companion and said, "Bring it, I will shoot you." His companion says, "No, you just give me a cigarette and take me to the base. I will be treated there." Paul also does the same. When he was taking his companion, he saw a car full of soldiers on the way who were very happy because the war was over now. Paul asks them for help, but no one helps him. When he reaches the base with his companion, the doctor tells him, "Your companion is dead." Paul says, "How can this be? One bullet was only in his stomach. How can he die?" The doctor says, "You were late in coming. The bullet passed through his liver, due to which the poison spread throughout the body." Paul becomes very sad to hear this. This war had taken away all his companions from him. His last companion was also killed. After this, he is told that everyone will have to reach the head. The one who has not yet given up tells all the soldiers that we still have some time left. We have to attack France and kill them somehow. But half the soldiers do not agree to this because now they do not have to fight any war. But still, they have to agree. And after reaching the base of France, they wait for 11 o'clock. But before that, the French soldiers had attacked the German soldiers. Paul sees a French soldier killing a German soldier, who was an innocent child who had just joined the army. Paul saves him and comes to the basement to fight the French soldier. Then a French soldier came from behind and stabbed Paul. Then it is also announced that the war is over. Paul, who was injured, slowly moves forward so that he can see the scene after the war. He had came out, and fell. The boy whose life Paul had saved, an officer, comes to him and says to gather all the dead soldiers' batches. Then the boy meets Paul again, who is now dead. He had the same handkerchief that his wounded companion had given him. That boy takes the handkerchief from Paul's hand and puts it around his neck so that he can remember Paul all his life. He had saved his life. But he did not know what difficulties he would have to face. And just like that, many of our brave soldiers are standing on our border, putting their lives in danger and protecting our lives. And with this, the story of this film ends here.